Construction has been rough this summer, but the Department of Transportation has actually accomplished a lot.
All right, Sully, what are some of the highlights?
Well, let's first talk about kind of just setting the tone here. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday because I knew I was in trouble when I got a text from G. Scott on Sunday afternoon that read, "Call ya boy." G was stuck in that brutal southbound I-5 drive through Kent over the weekend. WSDOT had closed all the lanes for concrete panel replacement. He called that backup disrespectful. Multiple times in our conversation. And he was right. A lot of people hit us up on the text line, too, saying they got caught up in this. Hours-long delays getting through that construction. That was a biggie. I mean, we shut down basically the freeway on a very sunny, good weekend here in the Northwest. So I figured out, okay, let's figure out what they get done. What did they do? WSDOT did some stuff during that closure. They were able to replace 60 failing concrete panels to improve the road. So that's what they were doing where you were stuck in that hours-long delay. So there is a little benefit, obviously, for you being stuck. But it got me thinking, we see all the big projects like Revive I-5, I-90, SR-18, but that doesn't cover all the orange cones that we saw this summer. What did WSDOT actually get done in those kinds of delays? And so here's a quick list of some of the things that WSDOT was able to tackle, and this is just between June, July, and August. Nearly 2 million square feet of pavement repairs. More than 18,000 feet of guardrail was replaced. Over 10,000 acres of brush and grass were mowed or cleared. Nearly 1,200 hazardous or dead trees were removed along the sides of roads. 335 tons of trash were collected. More than 327,000 square feet of graffiti was removed. 40,000 hours spent cleaning rest areas. And guys, while this likely didn't cause any of the road delays, maintenance workers replaced more than 3,000 miles of toilet paper at those rest areas. That's wiping all the way from Seattle to New York. 1,500 maintenance workers, 3 months. Not a bad list of accomplishments.
Sometimes just some plain old signage would help, too. And maybe there should be more signage before you get stuck in that and have no other alternative to get out.
That is one thing that we've talked about, I think, for years, is that more signage would be better. We love those little funny little tweets that the Department of Transportation puts out. But how many people see that? Or how many people realize it until it's right in front of them, right? They may not. They may have heard it, may have gone over their head, and they weren't thinking about it until they're right in front of it. So, yeah, that one caught a lot of people off guard, and I think the I-5 closure caught a lot of people off guard, even though we talked about it. Didn't quite understand the delay, maybe because maybe we're not used to having 47,000 people at Mariners games at the very last games of the season who were caught up in that. But yeah, you're right. I think they could do a little bit better at times for things like this, and we'll do a better job maybe highlighting a little bit more often, trying to drive people to those things. But by the way, that closure in Auburn will be back this weekend, I believe, in the eastbound direction at C Street. So if they're leaving town, plus we'll have the bridge strike to deal with for several months. So, yeah, I agree. That's not a bad idea. I like it.
You ever notice, by the way, that sometimes you'll listen to a traffic report on the radio and realize you were listening for a traffic report and heard nothing of what the traffic guy just said, and so you have to stick around for another 10 minutes just to make sure what he said was correct? This is what happens with people.
Are you saying that I'm not clear and concise in my reporting?
No, you are, but I just I space out. I'm thinking about my upcoming day
People
ahead.
get lost in how soothing your voice is, the gravelly.
We can do better, but I think DOT could do a little bit better. They do a lot. They had it's not often they have a big press conference. Nate Connors went to that last weekend, and we highlighted it, but you're right. It's hard to reach everybody.